always talk about we have our most competition during practice. You know, and to your point, CU being one of the worst teams in the country, if they can't even get a good enough look from their scout team, how can they actually assess who's going to be the best quarterback for them? Now, back to the quarterback situation. Sometimes players are gamers and not practice players. And I'm hoping Harshman or Wood are that guy. We saw that with Tim Tebow last year here in Denver. He did enough in the games to continue to start and actually win football games. He never looked good on the practice field. Hopefully one of these guys brings some of that with them this Saturday, because we've seen Jordan Webb good on the practice field, not so good on the game field. Washington doesn't score a lot of points offensively, but at the same time, CU is, I think, last in the NCAA. Actually, worse than last, because there's 122 NCAA teams. They're ranked 124th in scoring defense. I'm sorry with the facts, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
There are two teams who are petitioning to be in Division I who are actually better and ranked above the Buffs.
Just keep it coming.
I'm sorry. These are the facts.
You guys
But
are too much.
they've got a great tight end, and we saw them struggle all season long with good tight ends, particularly against Stanford, those taller, bigger guys. This is perhaps the best tight end in the country, and that's a quote from John Embry, who knows a little something about tight end play.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to believe without results.
Yeah.
When you're 1-5 and you're playing a team that's 5-1, you can hope and wish, but that's different than believing.
Yeah.
When you and I we're Buffs, every time we stepped on that field, we expected to win. We knew we were going to win. I don't think that mindset is there yet, and it shows up on the scoreboard. Yeah, one more offensive note. They're really lacking an explosion play, something you talked about a couple of weeks ago. They're not good enough to just go down and methodically drive the ball down the field and do that all game long. Defense is going to figure you out. They've got to find a way to manufacture some explosive plays, some quick strike plays.
Thank you, Maya. Chad, 48-zip Stanford and Boulder this past weekend. And I'm going to tell you something. It wasn't a surprise, obviously. Stanford's a good team. How CU is losing is becoming a bigger and bigger challenge every week. And we're going to point out a play. They ran a reverse, and they ran it to perfection. But the result of it was something that's been set up, in my opinion, for weeks to come. When you have a defense that's not very successful, everyone's trying to do everyone else's job instead of doing their own job. Stanford exploited that weakness in CU's defense.
This play indicates exactly what you were talking about, CJ. Now, at this point, when the play starts, it just appears to be a nice wide receiver sweep. The only real indicator we have here is number 21 coming back on the reverse. Now, this young DB down here needs to yell loud and alert everyone, reverse, reverse, reverse.
Now, there was someone who was doing that. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Now, at this point, now there's a number of indicators. We got a blocker here, 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 and a blocker here. And we got all these CU guys in the circle. This also indicates reverse.
Reverse it is, Chad. No indication or sign of any outside contain. That's one of the fundamental things you learn in Little League football. There has to be outside contain. No one even close to containing the sweep in this play.
Now, at this point, Stanford had run the ball kind of successfully, so CU was trying to do more than just their job. If your job is to keep containing the backside, it's not your job to go make a tackle on the front side. So defensive end for CU lost contain. And at this point, I'm standing over here on the sideline doing my KOA sideline gig.
I see you.
And I've been yelling reverse since the play started. I knew this was coming.
And just look at all the white shirts right there.
Blockers,
I mean,
yes.
That far down the field, you would expect there to be more black jerseys in the picture. But again, it's just a sign of a defense that's not very confident to just do its job and believe that, they can have success defensively.
Well, when you're giving up 50 points 3 weeks in a row, it's hard for you to trust your teammates that he's going to be where he's supposed to be. And then you start trying to do his job, you don't do your job as well, and plays like this are the result.
That is something right there that this coaching staff, they've been harping about all year long. Just simply do your job. Now, there's a question that some may ask, are they good enough individually? Are they talented enough to just simply do their job and hold up? You kind of pick your poison. If you over-pursue, trying to help a teammate, you get beat. If you just simply do your job, perhaps you get beat as well. That's the conundrum I think this team finds itself in.
But if you do your job, you're going to be in the right place, and you force the other team to beat you. And if they beat you physically, that's okay, but at least you're not making errors and giving it easy plays away.
Well, I tell you, things have certainly changed, Chad. You didn't have those problems back when you were sacking quarterbacks and getting tackles for losses.
We had great players everywhere. It was a different time.
All right, back to you, Maya. Thank you, Maya. Chad, it was a long day defensively for the Colorado Buffaloes. This kid, wait a minute, who just ran?
I think he scored again.
Kadeem Carey just ran by and scored another touchdown.
25-yard run.
I have never seen anything so humiliating in my life. From a defensive standpoint, I know you being the defensive stalwart you've been over the course of your career, you couldn't stomach what Arizona did series after series against the Colorado Buffaloes.
As a defense, you would love for an offense to be one-dimensional. They came into the game with a backup quarterback who was unproven, so CU went to the game focused on Kamdeen Carey. This is all we have to do to stop him to win this ball game, and they did not do it at all. Call up a play here and just show you what we're talking about. Running backs gain yards, obviously because they're fast and because they're skilled players, but it takes great blocking. And this play here will demonstrate how Arizona's offensive front were able to get a hat on a hat in coaching speak on all these CU defenders. This guy's taken care of. This guy's taken care of. This guy's taken care of. This guy's being pushed out of the play. This guy's going to be taken care of here. So all those guys are blocked.
You're absolutely right about that. And what we have is an extra defender. This was an adjustment CU made to some degree. You brought the nickel back up. You put him in space here. And the quarterback is reading him. If he takes the running back, quarterback will keep it. Or he'll give it if he takes the quarterback. But he's in no man's land right now. He doesn't have anyone. And as you'll see, he can't get to the running back. And he's bumping his head against the goalpost.
Right, so this running back's going to take off through here. Now it's up to CU's secondary back here to make a tackle. And as we'll see as the play goes on, they were able to get that done as well.
Look at that, untouched. Untouched.
Okay, now we got more CU defenders in the screen. You would think somebody's going to go ahead and get this guy down. Not the case. He outruns him, couple of good moves, picks up an easy block. I think that speaks volumes for why this guy was able to run for 366 yards when Arizona had no other offensive threats during the game.
You know, you have to laugh to stop from crying, and we chuckle about it, but it was extremely painful to see CU trying to make adjustments. And you're right, at some point, you can line them up right, but players on the field have to make plays. You got to make tackles. It didn't happen at all. It spoiled what was, I thought, the most perhaps impressive offensive performance on the road for CU. It was the worst defensive performance I've seen in 25 years.
It's one thing to get blocked, as the guys up front got blocked, as we just showed a second ago. It's another thing for you not to be able to make a tackle in space like CU's secondary couldn't do on that play. It's going to be a long season. There's only 2 more games left, but it's already been a long season. If they keep playing like that, it's going to be an even longer season.
Look, I'm making a bold prediction this week. Not quite yet. Back to you, Maya.